NRL Fantasy Round 8 recap, and what a round it was. A lot of massive scores going around. Not too many injuries either. A couple of landmines, but I think most of us went pretty well. My team went off for about 1,030 points, so I'm very happy as we dig into this. Look, first one here. Dave Fafita, Titans-Warriors game. Titans got a big upset here. Dave Fafita was a big part of that for them. 91 points. Just absolute juggernaut performance. Had a 61 break-even, so if you're on Dave Fafita, you're getting a big price rise there. 9 tackle busts with the try. Absolutely crazy. Fanua Blake scored 2 tries in this game. 70 points. Probably wanted a few more points than that from him with 2 tries. Down the list, Tanner Boyd. He was a favorite last year. Can he hold that spot? If he does, he's a good fantasy scorer. Brimson, value price. Yeah, that's a really nice score for him. Jolliffe, 60 minutes, 64 points, 1.1% owned now. He was in 0.9% last week. So he's on the rise. And there's just a lot of guys to talk about here. Guys like Tohu, 53, Sean Johnson, Tohu, 55, Sean Johnson, 53. Guys like Randall at 49, Nick Klokstad, 47. That's more normal in terms of what I expect from him going forward. Then down the list here, no one too crazy to talk about down the bottom, but Kieran Foran, a few people were high on him. Obviously, with Tanner Boyd back, he doesn't get the big role that people were hoping for. So that was a lowly 14 points. Next one here, Roosters and the Dragons. And the Roosters absolutely towed up St. George in this game, and the fantasy scores really do reflect that. So Sammy Walker, 90 points. Now, Sam Walker, his break-even was at 67. So we're in a spot where he's going to go up in price a little bit. Let's call him about 550K. I think he is serious value. And it's not just the 90-pointer. He was in our watch list last year, if you watch the Casual Athlete watch list and buy, hold, sell. So we were eyeing him off for a while now. But look, the try saver, 10 goals, 2 try assists. It's a lot of attacking stats for him. But he'll be at a nice price. He's probably worth about 700K. So at 550, you're getting a big discount there. Angus Crichton, 86 points. Absolute monster from him as well. Look, most people have him now, so we're pretty sweet. Connor Watson was filling in for Victor Radley. If he keeps playing lock for a long time, he'll be a big scorer. Jack DeBellin, I still don't like the minutes, 58 minutes, but he scored a try. So that was pretty sweet. Dom Young comes back. His break-even was at 77, so he'll still drop cash from this one, but not as much as you'd hope. And again, low 500s could be value if you like the buy schedule for the Roosters, which I do. James Tedesco, 40 points. I was hoping for a little bit more from him there. The break-even's up high at 81, so it's not great. Price drop is going to be pretty solid there, but at the same time, I wouldn't be buying him before the origin period. And then going down the list, no one too crazy to talk about here. Guys like Jack Bird, Laurie, different years, they were very important. Terrell May, that's the big one there. So 16 points. How many minutes were there? 26 minutes. Yeah, just not good enough. We were hoping for more from him. He's probably a sell this week, as is Flano. If you haven't sold him already, he's fallen off the radar in terms of fantasy production. All right, next group here. Storm and the Bunnies. And the Storm, again, it's pretty one-sided games here. The Storm absolutely ran away with this one. The Bunnies sort of made a late fight back. Cam Munster, 91 points. He reminds us who he is. 693K is a good price, but the origin period really does shut that down for us, so I wouldn't be making that move. Cam Murray, 70 points, scored the try. If you held on to him, bravo to you. You've got patience, and you've been rewarded for it. If you sold him, don't buy him back. The origin period is going to be tough for Cam Murray, and he is one that we can let sail off into the sunset. Jerome Hughes, 59 points is sweet. Pappenhausen grabbed 2 tries, got 57. Up and down season for him. I still like having Pappenhausen in my roster. Eli Katoa, my sneaky pod, 2.6% owned now, but 56 points, running that 55 average. I'm really happy with him. Harry Grant, he was at 60 until yesterday. Then had a last-minute drop to 54 points. That's tough. Harry Grant, you got to hold on to him. You got to hold on right up to the origin period. That's what my advice is there. Sean Bloor, only 72 minutes here, 48 points. Absolutely fine. He is motoring. If you have him, you're very happy. If you don't have him, I wouldn't really go buy him now. I think it's a bit too late. Cody Walker, he's at a cheap price. He might be bouncing back at some point. And then down the list, a few guys getting suspended from this game, actually. So Tane Milne will be out for a little bit. Damien Cook, if he ever gets the minutes again, 47 minutes in this game wasn't great. He'll be serious value. And then, yep, that's the South team. Not too much to talk about down the bottom there. All right, next up, Seagulls and the Eels. And the Eels were right this game until late when the Seagulls just ran away with it. And a big part of that was Ruben Garrick. We talked about him last week as a big option and a guy who I'm on record saying he would beat the 71-point break even, and he did. So I'm pretty happy with that call. I didn't get him. I went on Reece Walsh instead. I really like the Reece Walsh fixtures, and he got 64 anyway, so I'm not too upset. But for Ruben Garrick, 83 points. If you got on him, you're cheering. Going forward, the DPP is really good. The price is good, but the fixtures are pretty tough. So just keep an eye on that. We'll have a proper look at that later in the week. Jermaine Hopgood, 59 points, 73 minutes. He just keeps on going, keeps on motoring. He is an absolute stud. Ryan Madison, if he keeps an edge spot, he's a must-have, but I don't know if he will keep that edge spot. I'm a bit worried about that. Parrot do have to buy this week anyway. Dylan Brown, motoring, absolutely motoring. If you got him, you're very happy. Gutho bounced back. I'm still worried about those knee injuries, though, so I think he could be a sell if you do have him. Trey Evans will be out for 2 weeks, as will Olakawatu as well. So keep an eye on both those guys. If you have them, you're probably going to sell them because they're making the Origin team. So that's an easy call. Bailey Simonson, I like him at center. I don't like him at wing, but this was a good score at wing. So, if you like it after the bye, you could do it, but I'm personally not touching unless he gets to center. Waddell, another pretty nice performance. He'll keep rising in cash, so happy days there. Ethan Sanders, if he keeps the spot after the round 9 bye, then I'm going to look at him very closely because Moses is still out for a while as well. Going down the list here, there's a few guys that people are looking at. Tommy Tillau, 27. Sean Lane, absolute disaster, 21 points. Yeah, I got rid of Sean Lane before this week. On the back of his 50 last week too, so I'm pretty happy with that one. But hopefully he bounces back for Parramatta. Next up, the Tigers and the Broncos. Big game here. Reece Walsh led the scoring, 64 points. One of my buys this week. Look, he's got a great run of fixtures coming up. That's the key here. Origin period is not that attractive though, so it's really a 5-week rental in my mind. I might keep him a bit longer than that because he might back up from Origin, but wing fullback is tough right now, and I just wanted to back the talent basically. John Bateman's the other guy I got this week, so bought him 60 points. He was playing at lock. He was looking like a 70-point game actually, and then he moved to the centers towards the end and lost a few points, and you know how it goes, right? So Johnny Bateman, serious value. Probably still value next week, but it's the last week that you'd look at buying him. Reynolds, those cramps look brutal for him and Walsh, but 59 points is sweet. Paddy Carrigan, 62 minutes means that the party is over for Paddy Carrigan. I'm going to hold him through to the Origin period, but at the same time, he's not that same guy. Without Payne Haas, he is on a different level. With Payne Haas back, he'll be pretty more regular, especially with the fixtures they have. Galvin, 55, happy days. Payne Haas scored a try and 54 points. You want more points than that if he's scoring a try. So I'm not super happy with that. Down the list here, Tokamanu, 44. Mariner, some of you guys have 42 points. Then Xavier Willison just keeps on motoring. His PPM is insane, but he's too expensive now. So it's a tough one. I do like Samuel Alfino. So he got himself sin bin in this game, which otherwise he would have scored about 40 points. Looks like he was going to play about 80 minutes as well on the edge. So I'm off as a buy this week, even though he had the low score there. Coruscant, 23 points. That's a disaster. If you have him, he's time to sell. Yeah, look, Coruscant's a tough one because Hooker is a really tough spot, but you got to go get Jaden Brayley. That's the big one. He's at a good price. Cowboys and the Panthers, and the Cowboys look like they were going to have a shot at this game, and look, Penrith just held on as they do. So for the Cowboys here, Nanai, 71 points, absolute monster, 7.1% owned. He'll play Origin. I wouldn't touch him in fantasy, but he is an absolute gun. So 77 points. He's been up and down this year for fantasy, but he'll play Origin as well. So again, one to steer clear of. Dylan Edwards keeps on motoring, 58 points. Very happy with that. If you've got Dylan Edwards, then you're cheering. He has been so solid this year, 56 average, one of the best wing fullbacks he could get. Taumalolo, 45 minutes, 58 points. I can't trust him though. I just can't trust him. Like, he's such a good player, obviously, but will he get those 20-minute games when you need him most? Or it's very hard to read with Taumalolo and with the coaching at North Queensland. Paul Alamotti filled in, so Taruva was pulled out of the team. Alamotti went to the wing. I thought Taylor May might go to the wing and Alamotti to center, but they kept the configuration as was. For Alamotti, 57 points, runaway intercept try. There's a few things there, but he is, if he gets a spot longer term, then I am really into the Alamotti pick. I'm going to put him on the watch list, actually. Isaiah Yeo, 55, meh. Fuyaki, big game, 54 points. We love that. He had an absolute barnstormer. Cleary came back, scored 50. It was looking a bit dire, but yeah, I mean, you take the 50, but you were hoping for more if you did buy Cleary in. Cotter, 49. He downdated from about 58, so I was pretty sad about that. Same as Robson, 46 down from 54. It teases you, right? Sometimes you get those updates come through and usually you go up, but every now and then you sink down. Taylor and May just not getting involved at center. Good player, very good player, but just not doing it for fantasy. So yeah, it's a tough one. McKaylee, 25 points in 17 minutes. If he ever gets the minutes, he is very exciting, but he doesn't look like he will. And I'm watching Lukey this week because he might come in and take that spot. Tungo, 19 points. Absolute disaster for him. Although at the same time, if you have Tungo, you're probably running him over Ethan Strange, who got 14 anyway. So yeah, tough call. Next up, Dolphins and the Knights. And Ewan Aitken, 69 points. Huge. It's a nice score for Ewan. Look, he's just been unstoppable since he's played center. I don't know if he'll hold the spot much longer because Lemuelu came back through reserve grade last week. We saw, obviously, Kenny Bromwich got hurt in this game as well. So maybe he does hold the spot. We all doubted him holding that spot, but if you got on Ewan Aitken, you're very happy. Trey Fuller, 68 points. He's got that exemption to play while Hamaso's out, but he is unstoppable. 62 average. I'm shocked by how good he's been. He's been absolutely fantastic in real life and in fantasy. Jermaine Sarko, yeah, he's a stud. He's come down a bit cheaper as well. So if you believe in him, believe in the Dolphins, then you could look at this. This could be a big pod for you because last year he averaged 50 points and he was the top point scorer overall in terms of total points at the wing fullback position. Gagai's showing us who he is, 66. He's that top center for a reason, and he showed it here. Max Plath, 66 minutes. I worry about the injuries in this game and think maybe that's why he played bigger minutes, but at the same time, Max Plath, yeah, look, you could look at him. He'll be about 600K. I don't mind the pickup this week even. It would have been better last week, but he's looking like he'll get that 60-minute role, and he'll score about 50 points a week. That's my pick there. Dylan Lucas keeps on killing it, 55 points. You'd be stoked with that. Jaden Braley, 54 points in 80 minutes. This is exactly what we can expect from him. He is a beast, tackle machine. He's at a good price as well. I will be buying Jaden Braley this week. David Armstrong, there are talks that there's another guy in reserve grade, Sharp, who is the preferred fullback, but he was injured this week, and he could take this spot. So keep an eye on that. I do like the look of Armstrong, though. He's very, very aggressive, shows a lot of intent, very quick, and really has a crack. So, if you want Armstrong and you believe in the talent, you watch the game, you think he won't get dropped, then have a shot at it. I'm playing it a little more cautiously myself, though. I'm going down the list here. Bradman Best, 42 with pure base stats. We talked about him a few weeks back, and he's been very good since. Then Kai Pierce-Paul, 30 points, absolute disaster for owners there. Hold the faith. He played good minutes. He just had, 3 errors? 2 errors, 3 missed tackles, penalty. A lot of demerits, a lot of negative points. Down the list here, Greg Marzu, 18 points. He is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. If he gets down to about 400K, my eyes are on that. My eyes are absolutely on that because, he's historically a 50 average kind of guy. And he's just having a shocker this year. Then the Sharkies and the Raiders, and this is a big game. Look, Nico Hines, 116 points. That is a whopper. A whopper. I had him as captain. I'm sure a lot of you guys had him as captain as well. Let's look at this stat profile here, though. So you got the try, 6 goals, 2 try assists, a line break, 3 line break assists. Then you go into the base stats, 25 tackles, 5 tackle busts, 2 offloads to hand, a forced turnover, a 40-20, I believe, 169 run meters, 456 kick meters. Look, it's a replicatable stat line. That's the thing about it. Like, nothing about the stat line screams impossible to do again. He can go and do this again. So 116, this is why I've been captaining Hines for quite a while now. He has this potential to go up like this. And you get one of these weeks, and then all of a sudden, if he scored 50 a couple of times, it actually doesn't matter because the average is up to 73. Yeah, right. So 73 average is absolutely fine. Very happy with that. Ramian, 83 points. Cam McInnes, 62 with the try as well. Nakora, we talked about him as a good buy option. 59 points. He is killing it. Sione Katoa, a few of you guys potted up on him. 59 points. A few of the guys in the Discord in particular potted up with Sione Katoa. Hazelton, Keeps on motoring, 53 points, scored the try. He's a try-scoring machine and a great little haircut as well. Kyle Iro, 52 points, the cash cow that we always wanted. He is unstoppable right now. And then down the list, Kyle Weeks, 40 points, really good base stats from him. So if we go to the stats here, 26 tackles, had 5 missed tackles, which is not great, but 98 run meters and 423 kick meters. I'm really encouraged by that Kyle Weeks performance. I just worry about the job security with Canberra not scoring points. Do they change things up? I'm not sure. Chevy Stewart, so he updates to about 42 points in the end. But yeah, this is a great performance from him. Really solid base performance, which is what we've been hoping for from Chevy Stewart. Smithies, 63 minutes, not a great performance. Again, I've got him and I'm not super happy with him. Atkinson looked pretty good. I mean, 31 points in a game where they scored 40-0. It's not great. So I'm not going to be jumping out of my chair to go get Atkinson. But if you like him, job security looks pretty good right now. He could be a guy who holds on for quite a while. Tomoko, 27 points. And he had a run. He had one run in this game that was about a 15-point run. So it's not a great fantasy score from him. Ethan Strange, he'll down date to about 14 points. It's just the app is getting updated right now. But it was a quieter game. He had a few runs where he nearly scored tries. And I look at those and think, you know what? One or two of those pops off and he's suddenly a 60-point game. So I'm not super worried. Strange is a ball running 6 and at center, we can live with that. At the same time, though, Canberra do have the bye this week. So if you do have Canberra players that you're not sure about, sorry, not this week. Is it next week? After this week. But you have players you're not sure about, and you can actually check that, by the way, as well. If you want that player profile, you can see the fixtures and you can see when they do have buys. So Manly this week and then the bye next week for Canberra. But if you have players you're not sure about at the Canberra side, then give them one more week and wait for that buy. And if there's someone you want to sell at that point, then you can sell at that point. So Strange, as well as guys like Smithies, are all on that agenda for me. Anyway, that's my recap of round 8, cracking week. Let us know in the comments what you scored this week. And if you had a good one, celebrate. If you have a bad one, just focus on those trades for next week. We'll fix it up.